Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today got a very big unboxing for you guys. So I am absolutely ecstatic to see what is in this package. I know it's in here. You probably know it's in here, judging by the title of the video or the thumbnail, whatnot. But nonetheless, really want to see it in the vinyl. So let's get right to it. Okay. Got my little trusty scalpel knife, and we'll gently ease away some of this tape across the front here, or the bottom of the package, whatever. And just across here. So, if my calculations are correct, we should have 3 figures in this box. And not just like any little old Bandai vinyls or any of that stuff, but no, 3 X Plus figures. So yeah, I kind of went a little bit all out, a little bit crazy. with this purchase here, but you know, I couldn't resist. There was some sales going on, and X Plus. What can you do? Okay, opening it up. Got a lot of paper in here. Okay, it'll be fun to dig through. More crate paper, more paper. Here we go. Okay, which one should we go for first? Yeah, we'll go for something small. So what have we got in here? In here, we've got a tail of sorts. There we go. Let's kind of try and open this bubble wrap up. See this little tail. It's nice here. Okay. There we go. Our first piece of vinyl out of the box. Look at that. A beautiful, beautiful Godzilla tail. I think you're starting to see what we're getting at in here in this box. Okay, what should we pull out next? Well, I guess we have no choice because this seems to be the only thing sticking out at the bottom here. We'll take the big one out first. There we go. Look at that. Nice, big Godzilla figure. So, yeah, this one here is the 30 centimeter series X Plus Yuji Sakai modeling collection Godzilla 1995 Burning Godzilla figure. I'm really excited to see what this one looks like in person because Burning Godzilla is one of my all-time favorite Godzilla designs. Yuji Sakai is my all-time favorite Godzilla figure sculptor, and this is a figure that I was really keen to pick up. And yeah, so this is not the Rick version, this is the original version, the standard version I should say rather. So this one doesn't have that transparent plastic that it's made of, it is just painted on with the burning colors, but hopefully it'll look really groovy nonetheless. Whoa, okay, so you guys get a good look at him first there. Look at that. Let's take a look. I like him. He looks really awesome. Okay, this is great. Got those burning spines, all those burn patterns. That classic Yuji Sakai sort of really great attention to detail as always. Let's just kind of get rid of his little gloves here. Yeah. Very well packaged, by the way. Great to see that. Look at that. Oh man. I'll after I get all these unboxed, I'll go through all of them kind of more closely and get a good look at these things. I'm just going to pull all of them out first. The next thing we got going here, yes! Okay, so this is basically my first proper Hedorah figure. I've got one Hedorah figure that's from the Final Wars movie. It's a little figure about this big, made of like a solid vinyl type plastic. Cool figure, but I've always wanted like a classic Showa Hedorah figure. And this is a 25 centimeter Hedorah X Plus figure, so smaller scale, and a squishy guy as well. But let's have a look. Oh, look at that! Isn't he just gorgeous? I love Hedorah. Hedorah is one of my favorite kaiju, and one that I've been wanting to get a figure of for a very, very long time. So this is so awesome. I love those eyes. Beautiful. Love this thing. Look at that. So yeah, this is a squishy vinyl figure, so that's kind of cool. X Plus figures are usually quite a hard vinyl, because this one feels really firm. You can't really squish that. This guy's all soft and squishy, which is kind of appropriate for Hedorah. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. I was like, I almost didn't get this guy, by the way. I was just like on the fence at the very last moment, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, let's get him. Really wanted a Hedorah, and first impressions, I really like this thing. For sort of like a weird garbage blob monster, Hedorah is really cool. So good old Hedorah. What else have we got in here? I should have one more main thing in here aside from all this crap. Let's get rid of this. Go away. Go away, all this stuff. Got a Ziploc bag. That's not what we're after. What we're after is... Here we go. Here he is. There we go. Got a lovely creature in this bubble wrap that we will free. Get this. Just use my little knife again. There we go. Unwrap him. Oh, yes. Okay. Finally. I got a Kong Skull Island figure. And this is... I forgot the brand, because this is kind of X+, but it's kind of not... Oh, made in Bangladesh. That's new. Ace. Star Ace. Star Ace is the brand that this thing's made by. And look at that. Beautiful figure. I'm not sure if they're like in association with X+, or if they have nothing to do with X+. I've heard both things from people, but oh, that is awesome. Love this dude. Look at that. Very grumpy looking King Kong. This also comes with a little base, so yeah, here it is. And, oh, some other little thing here. What's this? Before we get to that, and a little Japanese newspaper. Come on. It's like pass the parcel. What's in here? His helicopter. Almost forgot he came with a little helicopter. Look at that, guys. So I'm looking off to the side here. I'm just checking when stuff's in focus on my monitor. There we go. This little crushed helicopter. That looks pretty cool. So yeah, obviously if you guys have seen Kong Skull Island, you know that he kind of goes apeshit, pun intended, on a bunch of Vietnam War era helicopters. And there we go. That just sits in there. Not very tight a squeeze on it, but holds in there good enough by the looks of that. This guy's also made of a much harder vinyl. Hard vinyl. Almost looks like he's one piece, but actually his feet seem to be the only thing that's separate, which is kind of funny. The rest of him seems to be... Oh no, his arms have been like glued on and stuff. Yeah, typical sort of big X+ style kind of figure manufacturing. And then we'll pull out this last thing here. Alrighty. Look at that. His little Kong base here. Whoops. And there goes my microphone. We'll get rid of that. I think that's everything. Sorry if the audio was a bit of a mess in this video here. Normally I'm a lot closer to my microphone. I had to be all the way back there because that box was freaking massive. But here we got this little base, and Kong stands in his little base. And that hopefully would fit with no problem. Maybe if I put this on the ground it would stand a little bit better. Or if we... I don't know, he's not fitting. He's not fitting. This is kind of annoying, but look. There's like little footprints, but we'll figure that out later. He can stand on his own without it for now. But this base is pretty cool. I like the little mountains and the river and stuff. Under here we got actually limited edition Monsterverse Legendary Skull and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll just show you that. You can read that in your own time. There you go. All right. Where to begin? I don't want to go like into this video super in depth because I'm thinking I might do full reviews of all these figures individually. At the moment we do have coronavirus going around and it's a bit freaking terrifying. So I have a lot of indoor time at the moment because outside is scary. So I might actually have time to do all these figure reviews. Maybe not. I'm fucking lazy. But so I'm not going to go too in depth with these, but I did want to kind of compare these very quickly to some other figures, and then like I said, I'll probably do full reviews of these things on their own in a later time. But let's just take a look at these. Freaking gorgeous. Love these things. Oh my god. Yeah, this has like been one of the most awesome box days in a freaking long time. I don't think I've been as excited for a box day since I got the 1964 X Plus 30 centimeter Godzilla. That was my holy grail figure for a very long time. And yeah, since then I haven't really gotten anything quite as amazing as all of these combined. I mean, you know these things cost a lot. But let's start off with, who should we start off with looking at? Let's look at Hedorah, because I'm not really going to compare him to any other figure for the time being. So I'll just kind of show you a nice close-up of Mr. Hedorah here. And look at that. Those bright red eyes. That's the thing that I really love about Hedorah is those eyes. They just like stand out. Hedorah's a great design. This is not the final version of Hedorah. This is one of his sort of like younger versions because I think they definitely took inspiration for Destroyer from Hedorah because he did sort of evolve from a very small microorganism, kind of similar to Hedorah. Hedorah also, you know, he's made of pollution, a pollution feeding space, whatnot, or something like that creature. But Destroyer was also kind of created by a certain type of pollution that came from the Oxygen Destroyer, and they just kind of tied that into Godzilla really well and made him look like a big devil. But Hedorah, you know, is the big environmental symbol monster made of garbage and pollution crap. But they designed him really well. I love the striking red eyes and that kind of like really weird sort of like octopus looking face, and all just the weird sort of dangly appendage bits. It's a really cool design, and I really digging this figure. Very simple paintwork over this guy, but really effective. Just the bits of yellow just spotted amongst him look really cool. He's got these really gross looking, just like, I don't know, puffed up areas on the back of him. Like, God only knows what horrors lie inside those. Really cool face, and he's got this little sucker mouth here. It's just funny because it's all like floppy. And I think this is the version of him that you often see like figures of like in scenes in the movie where it's just like sucking up pollution directly from factories, chimneys and stuff, and that's really awesome. Like I've seen people make their own little factories where this guy's kind of like above and sucking up pollution. And you know what? I might have one on hand. So here's like a little factory. Hold on. Little factory complex that I built a little while ago. I actually filmed a video about building this, like, it might have been like 2 years ago now, or probably a little bit less, but a long time ago, and I still haven't uploaded those videos because they take a long time to edit, and I just kind of put it off, and then a whole bunch of life stuff happened. So I do have a bunch of videos of me doing like all these model miniature things and miniature city buildings that I haven't uploaded yet, and I'm hoping to in the future. So they're still on the table, but like, sorry for postponing them and all that stuff because I know that can be a bit annoying. But yeah, I made this little factory complex. Still not really painted. It's still been just spray painted gray. But it's got the chimney, and you know, you can kind of imagine Hedorah just having his way with this little factory thing. So I think that's a great way to kind of display this guy. It's, you know, it's not in scale, but it's still awesome enough that I think that's how I'm going to display this guy. I love this dude. I'm really glad I got this guy. He's small and he's squishy compared to like the other X Plus figures, but this guy is probably the most unique one of these figures that I was really lacking in my collection. Not to mention, I also didn't have a Kong like this, so it's also another one that's kind of unique, but I'm actually, because I was so close to not getting this guy, I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, put him to the side, and we'll talk about our next kaiju. I think that one will be Kong for the moment. So, this is our Kong from Kong Skull Island, came out a couple of years ago. I've seen this figure around, and like, I always thought this sculpt looked really cool, like really captured the look of that Kong really well. It's also like, it's got, the way it's sculpted you can really tell that this was, hand sculpted out of a piece of clay. It's really got that look to it, especially on the face. So I'll just kind of try and get him to fit in here a little bit more. There we go. So just messed with the focus there, and now we can finally see him. So he looks really grumpy there. You can see all the really aggressive... Whoop, his little helicopter fell out, that's okay. But you can see all this sort of really aggressive sculpt work that went into his face to kind of really get that look going. His eye there, this eye looks great. The other one kind of looks a little bit weird the way it's looking, but the eyes still look really striking, and that's kind of awesome. Got his lovely little snout there. All that sort of the fur that we've got going over him looks really cool. Love that attention to the detail, and how this guy feels like rough. Like I'm holding him and he feels sharp because of all these bits of fur on him. And that scarring down his chest there looks really cool. Very accurate to the film. Let me just go down the whole thing. Really black nails there, which kind of stand out a little bit too much. I would have kind of muted those a little bit if I were painting this guy. Because it's probably accurate, but it's still... It looks like he's in his goth phase. Or goth emo phase at the moment. Which is kind of funny. Does he have... Same thing going on in his hand here. Yeah, but they're kind of hidden, but all around, really cool figure. Really nicely painted and just looking really, really cool. So finally we got a figure of this Kong. I seen recently they have the open mouth version that they're re-releasing this figure with. Oh, sorry, I'll put the autofocus back on because I just changed it because I was showing you some macro details. But yeah, really nice. And I brought out some figures over here because I wanted to compare this guy to my NECA Godzilla 2014 figure, because this is the only sort of legendary Godzilla. Oh, and there fuck his tail goes. Oh well. But this is the only 2014 or just Legendary Pictures Godzilla that I have in this scale. I do kind of want to get a King of the Monsters Godzilla figure in this scale if I can. Maybe the X Plus if I can afford it. We'll see, because I'm more a fan of the 2019 version as opposed to the 2014. I think the new spines and the adjustments to the feet and his claws and all that sort of stuff looks so much better on the 2019 version. But regardless, these two should kind of, let's see how they go together, because I'm assuming this is fairly close to how Godzilla and Kong are going to scale up in the new movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, coming up in, should be this year, but they might, I don't know, they've been, I can't speak right now, I'm just overwhelmed. But they've been delaying that for a long time now, and who knows when it's coming out, but it is coming out eventually. Now, this Kong is actually pretty big. That this Godzilla actually looks a little bit too small compared to him. Like, I think Kong should be a little bit shorter than this Godzilla. It just makes a bit more sense, because, it's a little weird to have Kong growing from, like, I don't know, being like that big in the 70s, and then like just in the 2000s being like whoop, way up to the size of Godzilla. But they have to make it work for the movie, so we'll see. But yeah, these could be a nice pairing, and I'm sure if we get the X Plus figures, they'd pair even better. And all around, this guy is really good, like X Plus quality, awesome figure. And like I said, I might do a full review of this guy in the future. I might not, but I'll try to get around to all those if I can. So we'll put this guy away, and then we're gonna talk about the elephant in the room, or the Godzilla in the room. There are many Godzillas in this room, so that analogy does not work, but whatever. Got our burning Godzilla right here. So just on first glance, really cool figure. Very, very chunky, very just awesome looking. The first thing that I really see is striking about him, aside from obviously the burning spots and all of that, is just they really did his mouth well. Very, very well painted and sculpted. That looks great. Now, the eyes is a thing that a lot of people, including me, have kind of looked at photos of this thing and had issues with. In person, doesn't look that bad. Honestly, his face looks gorgeous. But I kind of feel like the whites of his eyes are a little bit too bright, and that's kind of something that I found striking with a lot of photos of this thing, and I kind of see it in person as well. And I kind of wish they kind of did something similar to the Monster Arts version, which we're gonna have to go really macro on this guy. So hold on a sec. There you go. The Monster Arts version, they made the whites of his eyes just bright blood red, and that helps really bring out the more orangey colors in his eyes in the I forgot what that bit's called, but the bit right around the pupil, the orangey bit. For example, my eyes are brown, that whole bit. So on him, they're like this orangey, yellowy color, and they stand out a lot more, and it makes the whites of his eyes kind of not overpowering. And that's kind of the effect you got in the film. Whereas this guy might be a little bit more accurate, but in the film, the actual reddy, yellowy, orangey parts of his eyes that you see on this figure were glowing, so they stood out a lot more, and the whites of his eyes looked a lot darker and more dull. That's kind of my minor issue with the eyes of his figure. I don't think they're inaccurate. I just think the paintwork, you have to take into consideration like lighting for it to actually make sense and to look correct. And that's kind of an issue that you see a lot with Godzilla designs that do light up and glow. When you try and replicate that in the form of like an actual plastic figure, something that doesn't light up, it's really difficult to do. And this one, that's why I think this one looks a little bit off, but sculpt-wise, look at that. He looks so beautiful. He's got that classic Heisei Godzilla look to him. There you can see his mouth there looking really phenomenal right there. And the burn patterns on him look also look really great. Really cleanly painted claws and beautifully sculpted hands. All that classic stuff you'd expect from a Yuji Sakai Godzilla. Look at that. Beautiful spines as well. They do look a little bit plasticky just because, again, the burning effect is a little bit difficult to do on opaque plastic. It really does look awesome, and I love the variance in the color of this guy. And there we have his spines transitioning into a more white-gray bony color down the bottom. That is accurate to how he was in the film. And it does look a lot better, in my opinion. And I'll get the autofocus back on. There we go. It does look a little bit better, in my opinion, than the Monster Arts, where they just kind of went from like burning color right to bright white. This guy has much more of a sort of grayish color, and I feel like the transition is a little bit more organic. They're less bright, so I do like the look of the X Plus's spines on his tail a little bit more. But I really do like the transparent plastic that they used for the burning effect on the Monster Arts quite a bit, and the eyes again on the Monster Arts. So both are Yuji Sakai sculpts, by the way, so you can see the same great talented hands brought both these figures to life, and it's really cool to see both of these figures, you know, this same Godzilla in both scales, created by the same guy. Well, that's really cool. And then we have his beautiful tail here, which I'll have to, you know, make the thing squishy soft and jam that in later on. But for now we can just kind of see what that looks like. Just kind of imagine it. He'd have a nice big tail. Another thing about this figure is apparently this is one of the first ones in this Yuji Sakai modeling collection that's a true 30 centimeter high figure. So we'll just kind of bring in some of the other figures in this line just to kind of compare what they look like. And yeah, so this guy, he is looking bigger, which is really cool because it kind of fits, because I got the impression that this guy was the most bulky, biggest Heisei Godzilla out of them all. And to just have him that little bit bigger, like I'm not sure entirely how accurate in reality it is, but just like in terms of, you know, comparing him to these other figures does really lend a hand in making this guy feel even more epic. So that's really cool. Look at that. This is so awesome. I need to spend a little bit more time with these figures, just get to know them a bit better, you know, put his tail on, and then like I said, I'll try and do a full review. I don't know when I'll get around to that, but hopefully. So yeah, there he is next to the I think that's 92 the versus Mothra figure. So yeah, Yuji Sakai keeps doing absolutely brilliant work. And I'm so happy to have these in my collection. Love it, love it. And a big thank you and shout out to SuperGhidorah for posting these things out. Love these things. Phenomenal. It's been a great box day, guys. I'm sorry this video has just been like a mess and all over the place. I'll try and do a more refined, like I said, full review of these when I can. I got 3 awesome figures to balance out and like very little working space to film this video. So it's a bit all over the place, and I'm just gushing because, yeah, freaking awesome this stuff is. Freaking awesome. So yeah, that is it for this review, guys. If you got any of these figures in your collection and you're just proud to, you know, shout out that you do let me know that in the comments below. And yeah, just in general, may all your collecting go really well and be freaking awesome. I hope you guys have as awesome a box day as I did today in the near future. And yeah, with that, may all your vinyl be a radiated vinyl. Over and out.